I had to put on the glasses to talk about this. Now, this one right off the bat, I'm gonna say, from a language standpoint, I'm gonna do my best. But kids, critics, you know, maybe you can check out and just don't even support me on this one. But this is not an emotional. I'm gonna talk about. Let me just go ahead and say the title before we get too much deeper. The Suburban Prostitute. The Suburban Prostitute. If I had a book that I had written or was written, here's where I would tell you what page to flip to. Jezebel. Some may have said Ruth. But the Suburban Prostitute. You have some urban individuals that live in a place called the gut. And the gut is at the bottom. And the bottom is where all of the action seems to happen. The basketball shooting skills, the jump shot, the fast running football players, big, athletic, the gut, the urban area is where a lot of the action happens. Now these, stay with me, we're talking about the suburban prostitute. Stay with me for a second. The guy that works on this jump shot, moves a crack rock, elevates himself from a hot lava, hot tar, and feather process to make it out. Like I don't know if anybody's old enough to know what the Jeffersons, the TV show The Jeffersons, shout out to the Jeffersons, George Jefferson. But well, we're moving on up, to the east side. Hey, we finally got a piece of the pie. My voice is always messed up when I'm trying to sing. I can't hit some of them notes. But they had a hook. We're still talking about the suburban prostitute. Stay with me. George Jefferson moved up. When you have a craft or a skill and you make it to a certain level, then you start to see certain people. Some of these individuals get an opportunity to go to universities. Top-notch players who largest desire sometimes is to buy their mama a house. These guys that want their families to be successful, they get a chance to go to events, their hands are held, and they get to go into doors that most urban people don't get a chance to go in. Now, as the superstar athlete looks around in awe, mouth wide open, looking like the letter O, right? Totally impressed with the finer things in life. He meets her. He meets her, the suburban prostitute. She first shows up on the scene in the form of an introduction. She's a part of the package to try to influence the young man to come to the university of choice. She's a part of the package. And the suburban prostitute don't mind providing gentlemen like companionship, courtship for a young man to select this place as a university of choice to try and get them into a position to raise a banner and call themselves champions. Now the suburban people will capitalize on this process and make a lot of money, moolah, scratch, clip, thickness, and the urban athlete is really just trying to make it out of the hole. As they go through their experience a lot of times in the university, they don't have money often sometimes. So, as a part of the package deal, sometimes they receive genuine large amounts of funds, and also they allow themselves to be trapped or blackmailed by being tangled up with a suburban prostitute. Money is always an issue, but we're talking about the suburban prostitute, who you can't get an argument out of because she's willing to go with whatever you say. Peanut butter and jelly don't go together. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes, you are correct. Bacon and eggs is not breakfast, it's dinner. Yes, you. Whatever you say. Whatever you say is acceptable. And you yell out to her, you wouldn't understand, it's a such and such thing. Now, that's an old statement. Some of y'all might not know what that is if you yell at a suburban female. But anyway, somebody said Jill Scott was on stage making this gesture, and the suburban prostitute does this well, but not with a microphone, and it's not a gesture. It's a sincere process that's enjoyed by both involved. Sometimes the suburban prostitute tries to influence or hope that the top jock releases diamonds inside of her body and causes this thing to be what we labeled as being pregnant. If the superstar jock athlete maybe has some little bit of wits about himself, maybe his crackhead mother or 3-job working mother who's exhausted still told him to wrap it up. There's a piece of plastic or some form of a thing that you need to use. But anyway, so if this is the case, sometimes what she does, now y'all gonna judge me on this one, but that's fine. Sometimes what she'll do is she'll make sure that she catch the diamonds inside of her jaw. When he passes out or goes into the restroom relieved, she sometimes takes a plastic sack or something like that and almost like a tobacco chewing hillbilly spits the diamonds into the bag, plastic bag, and keeps it and uses it as fertilizer for the pregnancy. Well, anyway, this is getting too deep for me. I'm having trouble with this one, so I'm gonna get ready to pull out of this, no point intended, out of this story and let this one go. But this is the suburban prostitute If anybody wants to hear more in real details, you know, you can pay me a lot of money and I'll tell the real story.